Howdy y'all, it's Marina Ray. Today I'm hitting you guys with my June wrap up, and yes, it's very late. My schedule has gotten all mixed up because if you follow me on Twitter, you saw that I was having some issues with my internet and it didn't get fixed for like a week, so I'm a week behind schedule. What I've been doing is just getting videos up to you guys when I can. I mean, what are you gonna do? So today I'm going to tell you guys what I read in June. I read in June, 8 books. That is good for me, seeing as it seems within like the last 6 months, every month there's been like 10 days that I have just been in a reading slump. So I got 8 books read. Let's get to the stats. June wrap up stats. I read 8 books. One of those books was an audiobook. One of those books was a manga. You guys know already if you watch my videos. I can't say manga. I cannot force myself to say manga, so I just say manga. I'm sorry. And then I read 6 physical books. Out of those 8 books, I had 0 1 stars, 0 2 stars, 4 3 stars, 2 4 stars, and 2 5 stars, and I did not have any DNFs. Y'all should already know that because I don't DNF books. I'm a masochistic like that, and I just don't DNF books. I don't see how you guys do it. My OCD literally will not allow me to DNF the worst book. Let me tell you, I've had some bad books. I've read some bad books in my time, and my OCD would not allow me to DNF them. Anyway, those 8 books totaled up to 3,227 pages. Yes! So let's just jump on into what I read real quick, because I don't want this video to be too long. Okay, the first book... Hold on a second. I'm prepared as always. The first book that I ended up finishing in June was Red Queen. This book was so good. It was one of the 2 5 stars that I read last month. The main protagonist, Mare, even though she was like a trope character in a way, like she was a really cool trope character. I did my first book talk video on here ever on this book, and while I'm not a professional reviewer by any means, I had fun filming it and I had fun watching it. so I hope you guys did too. This book was just really good. I found the world building to be really interesting. It did not have as good world building as I had hoped it would have, but the character development made up for that because the character development was top notch. I loved Mare. I loved Cal. I didn't have a problem with any of the characters in this whatsoever. If you guys like love triangles, this has like a love square in it, so you would probably enjoy it. I don't get it. I don't quite understand it. I mean, I don't know. If you've been living under a rock and you don't know what this book is about, it is about a world divided by the color of your blood. There's the red bloods and there's the silver bloods. The silver bloods are the elite people, and the red bloods are live like in the slums and stuff. The silver bloods also have really cool powers. The red bloods usually don't, but there's an exception. Mare is the exception. She has red blood, yet she has a power, and it's a really cool power, and I'm gonna leave it at that. Going into this, you need to know a little bit about it. You need to know the synopsis a little bit. You need to at least know, it's a world divided by 2 bloods. There's an awesome protagonist. I'm definitely a fan of Victoria Aveyard now. As soon as I read this, I followed her on all of her social media. It was a really good book. I enjoyed it. The next book I read, I finished for the Cramathon, and that is To Kill a Kingdom. This is like a Little Mermaid retelling in a way, and I enjoyed this so much. I give it 4.5 stars. The only problem I had with it is it could at times get a little slow. I don't do well with slow plot books. I like fast. I like dun 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 dun. And this didn't do that for me. However, the world building was fantastic. The character development was fantastic. Just the way that it was written was fantastic. I loved the fact that they put a difference between mermaids and sirens in here. Mermaids are like these aquatic creatures and not sirens. It's about a siren princess who takes the heart of men. She has one for every birthday. She takes the heart of someone she's not supposed to at a time she's not supposed to, and it causes her a world of trouble. She ends up being caught by this ship, and Prince Elion is the captain. Captain Elion, he's like this pirate prince. He's the captain of the ship, and it just all goes to Hades. There is action in this. There's love in this. I really enjoyed it. The next book that I finished for the Chromathon, and that was Impulse by Ellen Hopkins. I give this book a 3 stars. I would have rated it higher, but I did not like the ending. And that may be a little petty. Ellen Hopkins did such a good job at relating you to the characters. If you suffer with any of the following, read this with caution. If you have bipolar, if you have suicidal thoughts, if you have a tendency of suicide in any way whatsoever, be very cautious and wary of reading this. It has tons of trigger warnings. I could not list the trigger warnings without this being a 20-minute video. Like, it has a lot of trigger warnings, but she does a very good job at representing all of the mental illnesses that she tries to represent in this. She does not do a bad job at representing even one of them. She does great at every single mental illness she tries to represent. Suffering with bipolar myself, and depression, and very, very, very bad anxiety. I give kudos to her for even attempting to write something like this. It just, you follow 3 characters. One of them suffers from self-harm, one of them had an attempt of suicide, and the other one self-medicates. If you do suffer with the same mental illnesses that I do, and you can read stuff like this, like me, without being triggered, then I definitely think that you should read this, and I definitely recommend it. Just beware. I do not want to be the cause of anybody reading something and getting triggered in any way, so just beware. The 4th book that I read was the audiobook, The Prince and the Guard, which is a novella in the Selection series, and in this we kind of follow Maxon's point of view and Aspen's point of view, and this just confirmed what I say about Maxon.
I'll leave it at that. I don't want to,
I will forever ship America and Aspen.
That's all I'm saying.
I give it 3 stars because the prince sucked and the guard rocked. So, 3 stars. 3 stars. I'm leaving it. I can't. This is a heated situation. The next book I read is Shiver, and I gave it 3.5 stars. This is about a girl and a wolf boy romance, basically. Grace gets attacked by wolves when she's little, and ever since then she's kind of got this weird relationship with this black wolf that shows up at the woodlines at her yard a lot. Sam is the wolf, basically, and it gets interesting. It does give you a Twilight vibe. I've heard people say this is better than Twilight. I don't agree with that. Twilight is a staple book. I can't agree with that. But, I mean, it was good. I did like Grace as a character. I felt she was kind of like naive and just like normal and relatable. Sam, I liked him. I liked the thought of Sam, but I didn't necessarily like Sam. It was okay. It wasn't great, but it wasn't horrible. Then I read the first 3 volumes of Orange, which was fantastic. I have not read a manga since I had my twins. I think the last one I read was Rosario Vampire. So I went into this and wow, it was so good. This book made me laugh out loud. It made me cry. It's about this girl who gets a letter from her future self. Letters tell her that her friend is going to suffer from some really bad things happening to him in the future. I won't say what because I don't want to spoil it in the least bit. But it is so good. You love every character. You love every character. And you just, it's so good. I recommend this to anybody that, even if you don't like manga, like I went into this thinking I ain't gonna like it, but I'm gonna give it a shot. I loved it. My best read in June was this right here. These three volumes. The next book I read was Stalking Jack the Ripper, and I give it 4 stars. I was hoping to like this more than I did. However, it was still a good book. This is about a girl trying to hunt down Jack the Ripper. This book gets gory. It gets gory, and it's like, oh, it goes into detail. But I will say, if you read this book, go into it not thinking Because if you think about who it could be from the very beginning, you'll call it. It's predictable. It's very predictable. I knew who it was. I mean, literally, as soon as the character popped up, I was like, don't let this be true. Don't let me call this soon. No. But I mean, I was thinking about it. So if you go into it not thinking about it and dwelling on it, it could possibly be unpredictable. I don't know. All I know is that I predicted it, and I've read that many other people predicted it, but that's okay, because other than that, it's still a good book. It still has great character development, world development. It has a great writing style. The author goes into detail about this girl's profession and what she enjoys doing. It's a good book. I would recommend it. I don't regret reading it, and I'll probably reread it in the future. And the last book I read is Illusionarium, and I give this a 3.5 stars. However, I am rethinking that, because now that I sit and look back on it and think about it, I enjoyed it a lot more, and probably should have given it more credit where credit was due, because I bought this at the Dollar Tree. I was thinking, oh, this is going to be like, This turned out to be really good. It was a steampunk type of book. This is my first steampunk book. I've never read another steampunk book, and wow, I'm shocked. Like, this had great world development. The author really dug in and made this whole entire world. It's basically about this boy. His life is kind of just shattered whenever this sickness, illness, plague comes across all the women in this like world, and it's making them sick. It's turning like their veins black and their limbs black, and it's killing them. And this boy's mom and sister end up catching this plague, and he and his father are like these illusion people. They can like perform illusions. None of that made sense. I know it didn't. But you have to pay attention to this from the very get-go, or you will find yourself so lost. This has a lot of time travel, world travel, sci-fi type stuff. It's you have to pay attention to it. You have to pay attention to it. If you don't, you will be like, what? I buddy readed this with my best friend ever, Caitlin, and I was messaging her like, are you confused? what is this? But then you get into the storyline and you become invested in it and invested in the characters, and you're like, wow, like $1? Heck yes. Plus, look how pretty that is. It's pretty. So yeah, guys, that's what I read in the month of June. I'm currently in a reading slump in July. I'm hoping to get out of it soon. If not, I don't know what I'm going to do. I just know that next month's wrap up may not be as entertaining and long as this one, because wow, I'm struggling. But yeah, guys, don't forget, I post videos when I can. And I will see you guys later.